What's up guys, it's Charles here with Rocket Punch Army to do a review of the Daca Kronos. As most of you already know, there was a few issues with this figure. I'm not really going to get into all that. Just the issues that I had, which were actually none, surprisingly. I did do a video for the fix on the ankles to avoid any issues from happening, but so far so good. However, I've never transformed them, so there may be issues I may run into during transformation, which we're going to cover in this video. Now we're going to start off obviously in the robot mode, okay, because this is the mode I have him in already, and pretty much I have to say the same thing 99% of everybody out there is saying, is that it looks fantastic in robot mode. It looks great on a shelf, right? It isn't really until you start getting really close that you start noticing things that maybe you would prefer not be there. Well, actually not maybe, you definitely would not prefer them to be there, like certain gaps. If I just go down here a second, you see gaps right here. Some panels don't really align. It's just little stupid things. Nothing entirely major on my figure. I don't have anything broken, no really bad paint apps or anything like that. The only thing, and I did mention it in the unboxing, which if you do want to check out the box, I do recommend watching the unboxing, is right here on his chin. See that little defect or something? It looked like a paint blobbed on there, and I actually flicked it off, but it still has a little remainder of that there. But the face overall is actually well done, and I know they were working on light piping, and I think the light piping bit is there, but the eyes ended up being painted blue. I don't know if there is still light piping. I've tried to shine a light on it, you know, nothing really happened. And the only other thing I changed was this little logo here, or actually added on. I didn't change anything, there was nothing there to begin with. But yeah, so we're gonna check out the robot. I think the first thing we should do is check out the articulation. Alright, I just showed you the head a little bit there, just like so. Alright, we got the shoulders here, which have a nice tough sounding ratchet. Then we have the double jointed elbows. We'll move down a little bit, check them out right here. They're just friction elbows, and I do know that if you tighten these screws you can actually get more friction out of them in case you have problems holding the gun. But mine, like mine right here, it goes down, so that's easily accomplished by screwing this in here. The waist, there actually is a waist movement, but it's pretty much not going to happen while you have the jetpack here, so not even going to bother to show you that. And let's check out the hips here. They do go out, again friction, so you'll see they just want to flop down because of the weight of the die cast feet, which we'll get to in a second. Just like that. And we do have these things that flip up so you can get the legs forward that way, and they also swivel at the hip this way. Also ratchets on the knees, and it feels really nice. And if we go down here, you'll see these little flaps that move out of the way. And this is the bit where I put the grease on. That's why it looks a little weird in there, but there's grease on there which allows this type of ratcheting movement, which is now nice and smooth on my figure due to adding the grease. And the heels move due to transformation, feet, and they do have a side-to-side movement. And last but not least is the hands. You got the wrist, you have the thumb, and a very tip of each finger is actually articulated. So it's a fully articulated hand. The fingers don't splay out because there aren't ball joints here. It's just a swivel. And I do have to recommend that you be careful. Some people are receiving their figures without fingertips or without fingers. There's no metal, what do you call it, pins holding the fingers together. It looks like little plastic rods right inside. So you do want to be very careful, although they do have a very nice amount of friction. They're not loose. They're actually really well done. And I know a lot of people hate this hole. You'll see there's a hole in the hand, which can be taken care of with a little piece of styrene. So far my biggest issue has really been this tab here, which holds the shoulder, because check this out, this whole entire shoulder is just really held on with these little two tabs. It's amazing that this is what they use to hold this in. I don't know, during the design process, I don't know what was going on, but you would think there's a better latching system than just these two little things that just hold it right in there. And I gotta say, they don't do a good job at holding it at that. You know, I know there's a certain way you have to tab everything in. I've tried every order possible, and it still does not tap in really good. But in this case, it's actually, you know, the the best linkage I've gotten so far, because if you see this side, it's just constantly popping out. It won't even go down that far. It's not completely flat, but I'd rather not stress those out. But for those of you that plan on doing a lot of transformation, you might want to be very careful with that. Now, as far as the paint detail, it's not the best. A lot of people are having issues with the edge of the blue here, as am I. It kind of bleeds into the head there. I know there's an easy way to fix that, but this is just stuff that the average collector will not want to deal with. But me as a modeler, not that big of a deal. But again, I can understand why it's a big deal to people that don't want to have to spend money and fix their figures. The paint on the wing seems to be pretty well done on the wing here. Here it looks like they didn't spray enough. You can kind of see the red bleeding through on the white. The face is done really nice. I like the silver on that. I know some people had scratches on their faces, but mine came out alright. The blue plastic here, it's not paint. I don't think it's paint. I think it's just blue clear plastic, but it looks like the bottom here is just getting a little rough. Again, this faction logo I put myself. The paint here on the vents kind of bleeds off to the sides. I guess they didn't match that well, but it kind of looks cool. It kind of looks like the vents are a little bit dirty, except this side isn't like that. So that's a little weird. Other than that, don't really have complaints on the paint. There's no scuffs like some people had. They had a bunch of scuffs. This is chipped right there, but I don't know if I did that. In the back here, the same thing, a little bit bleeding going on. This is the other side of the hand, which I forgot to show you guys, which is really flimsy. But overall, robot mode I think looks really good. Then I also wanted to show you the blaster here. Alright, it looks to be molded in white plastic. I think someone had mentioned that in another review. I can't actually tell what color it's molded in, but I'm trying to look for chips in the paint. But this is actually painted this color. Alright, and you'll see the tabs here are for tabbing it right into the hand. That's why this slot is right there. But I don't think it occupies the entire length of the slot, which is probably why some people want to block it off. Why this hole is there, I don't know, but whatever. So there it is. Again, mine is a little bit loose, but I'll be making a video on how to take care of that. So far it's doing its job of looking really awesome. It looks really great with the rest of my Masterpiece figures. So if that's really what you're looking for, it's not going to disappoint. However, there are those of you that want to transform it. And that is where you may end up running into problems, since this figure does have some issues. But before I get into transformation and possibly some headaches, I do want to compare him to the G1 figure right here. Alright, I know mine is all nice and yellowy, but there he is with that. This is, for those of you that don't know, what we got as Jetfire, which would be the Skyfire on the show. The big backstory between this and Robotech and all that stuff I'm not going to get into. I'm sure you guys can wiki that. But this is a figure that was shown on the show to look like that guy. We've all been waiting for a really nice Skyfire figure, or Jetfire figure, and this is possibly the best one we've gotten before getting the Daca toys, which in some people's opinions is not the best. Some people still consider this one the best. However, there's a new Hasbro one coming out, and I wish I had it with me here to be able to do a comparison, but you will see that in a future review. Now to get started with transformation, we are going to want to use this book. It's my first time transforming here on the actual video, but the book, it's rather thick for an instruction booklet, but it's just the pages are really thick. This is like thicker than magazine cover paper. But you'll see it's full color, it's nice and glossy. Don't know how I feel about the instructions though. They're definitely CAD rendered and a little strange, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to try and not rush through the transformation, but I may have to skip a couple steps for the sake of the length of the review. But yeah, so if I run into anything, I'll let you guys know also. And this is the end mode we want to turn up with, which is the vehicle mode, the jet mode, which does look quite surprisingly very accurate to the TV, as does the robot figure. So let's get started with that. Alright, so we're going to run to our first issue here. I don't know how well you can see. There's the two halves of the foot that have to clear the top of the ankle. Don't know if you can see that, guys. I really am having, right here, this thing back up here has to clear the top of this. I don't have any grease there. I don't think I need it, but I may want to add some there later on. But I unscrewed the feet to make the toes easier to fold in, number one, and also for it to clear the top without really binding it. And what you want to do is also hold the white part here while you push the front of the foot to help the ratchets along. And in the feet, or the heels, whatever this piece is, you're going to fold over like I did right here and close it all the way. And I'm not going to lie, guys, since I do want this to be a fair review, anything I'm moving, I'm loosening. I'm not taking any chances with transformation, because a lot of these clearances I think were just designed in CAD where everything can just flow back and forth the way it's supposed to. Obviously in real life the tolerances of the mold and paint and everything do make things a little bit different. So just to be on the safe side, I've loosened screws just to make everything flow a little bit easier. Then I'm also going to remove the backpack here because it's just getting in the way. Because what I want to do next is push the legs up, and they're kind of weird, just wobble. Just hoping I don't break anything here, although it feels like I am. Sounds like I am. Sorry guys, I had to do that off camera because there is a significant amount of force I had to apply, but it doesn't really feel too nice the way these click up as they would in some other high-end figures. So be on the lookout for that. We'll see what happens once I pull these back down. And the hands seem simple enough. They're just like a lot of other robots where the forearm opens up and allows you to fold this in like that and then close it, and do the same with the other side. Next bit is pull these tabs up. This figure has since done it on its own, but you pull the flaps up, fold the arms back. We'll do this side like that. Oh, and there's this piece you got to snap off. Alright, this is one of those weird pieces that you have to pull off that a lot of people complained about, like parts former wise. And you'll see now the arms just flap along on this white bit here. Then the head goes back as this whole nose piece part comes forward. I just got to fiddle with it. I'm not sure how it comes out. Alright, now that I've got this jumbled mess, it seems a little easier. Again, this is my first time. It seems a little easier to just split the crotch open to bring this up. Yeah, I seem to have to require a lot of force to get these tabs here to pop into where the plastic is. And I'm sorry about the overexposure on the white there, guys. This is an all white figure. But these nubs have to go there. And it's just quite a bit of force I have to put on that. And there's no way for me to loosen this. You know, so we'll see how far I can get like that. And apparently I didn't even have the legs in enough. So again, lots of forceful pushing to get these legs up. I don't know what the design is in there. It feels like really horrible ratcheting mechanisms. I don't know if using that lube that I have will help. I don't really want to take this apart during the review, but might check into that later. But for now I'm going to push this other leg up. You just got to pull the legs out even more here at the hip area, just like that. The size of this thing really isn't helping this review, guys. It's a little fidgety. It's hard to work with the camera right here, but you'll see what I did with the arm. I really just brought it in that way. I'm going to do the same with this side. It's kind of weird because it won't clear and you kind of have to ratchet, but you don't want to ratchet with, I don't know, it's just really weird. But just go around this way and fold this in here, bring the arm this way here. I didn't have the issue here, but a lot of people, when they go to push the shoulder in, you'll see this hole in the side of the shoulder. That's where this thing will plug in. You'll see right there, it'll plug in right there quite nicely. Then just to help all the things stay together, you want to make sure you push these bits in. That kind of makes it a little firm up here. So we're pretty much done with the basic part of it, and you'll see it's still a tad floppy. And I actually don't see the instructions showing it, but I think this panel can go back on because these bits here do flap off to the side so that they can actually fit. So I'll go ahead and put that on and see what happens. And by the way, the instructions do suck. They're not really instructions as much as they are like if you put the pictures together, it'll make like a flip book. There's literally like 4 steps to show you the same thing for each thing. That's what it seems like from what I'm looking. If anybody begs to differ, please let me know. And the next part we want to mess with is this. We want to bring the wings this way. Right? They have a little ratchet going on. Close these little vents. Then we got to bring down these little arms here, which I hope are not flimsy. Alright. Yeah, this is a little bit of a pain. This is definitely staying in robot mode after this review. So according to the instructions, these holes here on the side of the legs is where these bits are going to go in. So I'm going to give that a shot and tab it in I don't know if you guys could see that very well, but and it does work better, and I don't see it in the instructions, to tab in the piece that actually would hold the backpack in robot mode. So make sure you put that in first, then tab the back. I'm supposed to take these vents off. Should have done that before. These come loose in the box for a lot of people, so make sure you have both of them when you open the box. And these vents go in the front here, and each piece is keyed for a specific side. Alright, we got that side, then we get this side. Alright guys, so I decided to step away from my review area to show you the finished product, because it's not going to fit in my little review area. Another reason I'm not doing it in the review area is because there's no landing gear, so it's not even like I could lay it down on something, it's just going to look stupid. I'm actually a little annoyed after this review, just having to fiddle with this. Again, it's not something I'm going to do. It was cool to do it the one time. Here it is. Let me show it to you so you guys can see it. It's not bad. It's not bad. I know it's weird to be annoyed at a review and somehow still give it a thumbs up. And that's because of what I'm using it for, guys. It's just for display. Transformation for me was not fun. The instructions were a little confusing. It just wasn't fun transforming this guy. But it does look cool and very accurate to the show, even though you see a lot of robot bits down here. It does look good, but it's going to stay in robot mode. And I'm not even going to play the whole game about trying to attach this to the bottom. I know there's ways of doing it. I'm just going to fake it for you guys here. I'm going to be a girl and fake it. Let's go on the bottom here. I know we can wedge it in there with friction. I don't really care to do that, but if you guys wanted to, you can somehow just fake it. Don't know if there's there's really no way to plug it in, but it will stay in there with friction if you fiddle with it about. But I don't really give two rat's balls about that. But that's it. Daca Kronos. I still recommend it, believe it or not. I would still recommend it if you're a Skyfire fan, or just wait for the Hasbro one, which has no annoyances that I can see of as of right now, and it looks really good. But if you want a gigantic masterpiece style, this is what you're going to get for now. I don't know who else is making one. Fans Toys, is it? But for now, this is cool. Got a little bit of die cast, not a lot. Looks awesome, but I just recommend leaving it in robot mode if that's what you're looking for. And I got to give it up for the designer for even attempting to do something this crazy. For you know, work on his own. This is amazing. And yeah, stay tuned for some fixes. I'm going to do the elbow fix. I don't really see any other fixes I need to do. But stay tuned for that video. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, guys. Till next time, bye-bye.